everybody, and welcome to this week's installment of Sports Nutrition Tips. My name is Amy Culp. I'm the registered dietitian at the University of Texas, and this week we're going to talk about grocery shopping. It's one of those things that we all have to do, but if you're not prepared, sometimes it can feel like drudgery. So hopefully I'm going to give you some tips that make sure that you get lots of good nutrition in your basket so that you feel good and perform well as an athlete. So one of the first things that I would say for grocery shopping is that planning ahead really will pay off in huge dividends. So what I have people do is take a look at their week and kind of plan out their week for what meals are they going to be away from home and they need to either pack something or grab something, and then we have a plan for that. What are the snacks that you need to try to make sure that you can take with you, and if that snack is going to be in your backpack or in your purse all day long, it needs to be something that's portable and is not going to melt if you live like where we live and it's 100 degrees during the day a lot of times. The other thing that you need to do is think about, again, those meals in the evening. Are you going to be rushed? Are you going to have less than 30 minutes where you're not going to really have time to cook something? And so what are those quick and easy things that you can put together? Or do you want to cook in bulk on the weekend so that you can eat off of, make yourself a big pan of whole grains that you can add some protein to, add some vegetables to, and eat on that throughout the whole week? Or are you somebody who wants to make small, quick meals all throughout the week? And then from that will allow you to start creating your list. If there's recipes that you're cooking from, make sure that you have all the ingredients from your recipes. If you're somebody who's just starting to want to eat healthfully and you're making lots of nutrition changes, I think that's awesome, and going to the grocery store is one of the most important pieces of that because that's going to help you be successful. So once you have your menu planned out, again, then you can make your grocery list. And I have people kind of stay organized, that they write their grocery list in the way that their grocery store is laid out. And talking about the way grocery stores are laid out, I want you to think a little bit about that and how you fill your basket. If you shop mainly from the perimeter of the store, meaning on how they line up the store and what's on the outside of the grocery store, you're going to have a lot of good healthy options. You have fruits and vegetables, you have lean protein, you have your low-fat dairy products, and those are all on the perimeter of the store. It's what's on the inside aisles that we have to use a little bit more moderation and a little bit more planning with. Those are typically the foods that are more in the packaged processed foods that typically aren't as helpful for us as those whole foods that are on the perimeter. So try to make sure that the majority of your basket has foods from the perimeter of the store, and you're just going to those inside aisles for whole grain cereals and rice and pasta and that sort of thing, whole grain breads. The other thing to remember whenever you're grocery shopping is to not go to the grocery store hungry. You've heard that before, but it's definitely very true. Make sure that you have a nice healthy snack before you go, or you've had your meal, or else you're going to buy more and you're going to spend more. If you're somebody who is shopping with a budget, you might want to check out what the specials are at the store and shop from those specials and fill in your meals based on sort of what the specials are for that week. So if they have chicken on sale or if they have ground beef on sale, you can plan your meals from that. And I would say the final tip in terms of label reading is don't get bogged down by too much information. And I know that sounds really confusing, but really what I tell people first and foremost is look at the ingredients label. If you feel like you need to have a science degree to understand what's on the ingredients label and it's really long, so long that the print's very small and you can't hardly see it, then it's probably not an optimal choice for you. It's probably not a good choice for an athlete because the more processed it is, a lot of times the less nutrition that it has. So try to look for one that has fewer ingredients. 2, look for what are those first few ingredients. Is it something that if you had to make that granola bar, for example, at home, you could have all of those ingredients in your pantry and make it yourself, and you understand all of those ingredients? That's one tip for label reading that's really going to help you make a lot of really good decisions about your food without even looking at the nutrition facts label. And then the other thing for the nutrition facts label is really be intentional about what you're using that label for. So for example, if you're looking at a cereal, you might want to compare the amount of sugars in the different cereals that you're having, or the amount of fiber that it's giving you. But again, a lot of that information can be gleaned just from looking at the ingredients label. You can tell if it's made from a whole grain because it'll say whole grain oats or whole wheat flour. For example, it'll have the word whole in it as one of those first ingredients. The other thing you might compare, let's say if you're comparing some yogurt, again, might be the amount of sugar that's in it, the amount of protein that it's giving you. So is it giving you your biggest bang for your buck? And then one other tip that I'll give is how to tell the amount of fat that's in that food. And if you're trying to find foods that are less processed and are lower in fat naturally, you can use this tip. And that is, for every 100 calories that's in the food, there should be about 3 grams of fat or less. And that will help you to meet the American Heart Association recommendations for the amount of fat that should be in those more processed foods. So if it has 200 calories per serving, then it should have 6 grams of fat or less per serving. So I hope that's helpful. Have fun grocery shopping, and until next week, I'll talk to you later.